Right, Sue, what do you want to show us next?
Let's have a play with the watercolours.
Let's do it.
And the watercolour paper. Yes, yeah. Halloween theme as well. So let's have a play. So I've just got a tea plate and I'm just going to create a moon by just circling with a pencil, slightly off the page. I think that looks nice. And
never think of using plates. If you haven't got a compass, that's the answer.
Yeah, I love using plates and cups. Yes, ideal. Okay, so I've got quite a thick bristled brush, and what I'm going to do is let's use the palette as well. I'm going to mix a sort of a nice pleasant moon colour, and with lots of water. So I've got the black. I don't want to just use the black and grey. I'm going to add a little bit of pink.
Okay.
And it just warms the black up actually, so it's not such a cool colour. Mm-hmm. Add a bit more, so I want plenty. Okay, and then
it's nice experimenting with colours as well, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Don't just use, the colours as they are. Just try mixing a little bit of a different colour, and you get nice.
From those 24 colours, you've potentially got many hundreds of different shades that you can make.
Yes, yeah, and it's your colour. It's the colour you've. I should put something under there as well because I'm going to go off the paper. It's it's your colour. It's the colour you've mixed up. Okay, so add some more plain water as well. Nice watery effect with the moon. Use the pivot of your hand as well to move that brush round. Just to keep it like as close as you can in the pencil line, but you don't want to be too fussy and slow at that process. Just get it on because we've got a big area to cover.
And look how much water that watercolour card is coping with.
Oh, it's really lovely, yeah. All the pigment starts moving. It's just lovely. Let's add some more. I'm just going to take a little bit of black just to add at the bottom, just to make the moon look like it is spherical. Mm-hmm. Let's go try and
creates that dimension and that dome.
Yes, yeah. That's it. And then just add plenty of pigment in the middle. Don't be fussy, just blot it on. Mm-hmm. Another thing I like to do is just to get a piece of paper. I've got one somewhere. Piece of paper, just a piece of scrap paper.
Before I started to do art, the biggest mistake I used to make was I tried to be too accurate and too precise with it. Sometimes, as you saw Sue there, just doing a few dabs, you're not really thinking about it. That's all you need to do. And
here's the paper.
Really effective.
Okay, just a piece of paper, screw it up.
Just copier paper?
Yes, copier paper, yeah, just to get some sort of texture, and then you can dab that on and you get, because you want sort of different patterns and texture in the moon. This is quite a pinky one actually to the one that I've done before.
And then last time you used bubble wrap, and that was a
That's right, yes, yeah, a little bit of bubble wrap for leaves. I'm just going to splatter on some plain water just to create some more texture, and it sort of goes, like you put salt on watercolour and it draws the pigment in. So that's about it really. Just leave that to dry fully for your moon.
Perfect. And
I have one that I did earlier. It's a little bit cooler. They always turn out differently, so it's always quite exciting.
That's the beauty of it though, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So also now I'd like to mix up another colour. This is going to be the sky colour. So I'm going to add a little bit of that purple again, pinky purple.
And you're using the lid as the palette. When you're using quite a large quantity, then that's a handy thing. Easy to clean.
Yeah, because I want the colour already mixed, already ready to use. Add a little bit of black as well. Just have like a medium colour, not too dark and not too light. And by adding like a little bit of green as well, you make that colour a bit darker, and it makes an interesting
quite a menacing
colour.
Sky now, isn't it?
Yes, lovely. I think that'll do. So I'm going to paint the sky now, basically the background of the moon. So I'm just going to I've got a lovely wide brush. So I'm just going to cover the paper with this and just kiss the edge of the moon with the colour as well. So this is this is like a glaze that I'm doing here. I'm not actually doing a wash. A wash is where you put plain water down first and then add the pigment. But it kind of does its own thing with the water. If you mix the pigment up first, by using lots of water, make it really thin, and use the colour like this. It's called a glaze, and you get even spread of colour.
I was going to say, you can't see brush marks or anything
That's
like
right,
that.
that's the plan, yes, yeah. So you could practice this technique on some spare sheets. So the more you fiddle with it sometimes, the more it sort of, pulls in, the pigments pool. So that's it, that's all that you need to do. I mean, it doesn't matter if if you've not kissed it quite at the edge and you've got little specks of white, that's fine.
And this is the watercolour paper that we're using, the GSM?
Yes, always the watercolour paper.
Which you've cut down to A4.
So leave that to dry fully, and then here's one that we did earlier.
Oh, wow.
This one, I have got a few specks of brush marks, but it doesn't really matter, not with the second sort of stage that I'm going to do. Let's bring this palette back in. Change our brush. It's nice to have a selection of brushes as well. Going for a slightly smaller one. I'm just going to take the black.
Now, we haven't actually got any brushes in this show, but there will be some on the website if you want to have a little hunt.
Yeah, nice Zieler brushes as well, which are fabulous. So I'm just going to mix a little bit of black. And also you can if you know you're going to use the black, add water directly onto the little half pan, because that softens the colour, and then you can actually just kiss it and you've got a really lovely rich pigment there on the end of your brush. So I'm going to just draw, anyone can do this, this is really simple. So I'm just going to draw an oval shape.
Right.
Yeah, you can do an oval shape, nice jet black. I'm just going to do two triangles at the top there.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to arc this up like two arms coming up like this.
Yeah.
It's like horns. So yeah, this is going to be a bat. So then I'm just going to do almost like the edge of a holly leaf.
That's a good description.
Design like that, yes. And then now I don't realise I'm doing it. Now I'm picking up the watered down black, and I'm just going to fill the wing in. So I don't really want this jet black in a way. I almost want it very slightly transparent, and then the body's going to sort of show up more.
I think the wings of a bat are a little bit lighter than the body, aren't they, normally?
I think they are, yes. Light could
quite thin.
Travel through the wings. Yeah, you can add a little bit more black at the edges if you like. So that's about it, really. And a good thing about art, it's almost you can get away with a suggestion of something.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be exactly drawn or painted to perfection. It's just it's pleasing for the eye if you suggest something.
I think that's why I like watercolour so much, is that it is softer and it seems to be more user-friendly, if I can use that phrase, you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
It doesn't seem so scary.
That's right. You've had a go, haven't you, Dave?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love watercolour.
So I'm just drawing bats, really, just painting black bats.
And now it's giving the appearance of like the light from the moon is kind of shining, well, not shining through, but it's going through the wings of the bat.
Yes, yeah, leave them sort of transparent. And then what you can do is that you could actually, when it's dry, go over them and add, the sort of the bony parts, the arms and everything. You can draw that in afterwards. That's the beauty about art and the watercolours. You can take it to different levels.
And it could be that you're thinking of Christmas gifts with these palettes or the pens. If you get the cardstock and either the pens or the paint palette or both, you've got basically a complete kit that someone can start painting straight away, whether they're new, whether they've been experienced in painting. These are artist-approved products, which makes a massive difference. So you're buying quality that isn't going to let you down. And
sorry, I'm just getting carried away.
That's all right. Painting pens that you can take with you wherever you go. The palette will fit in your coats, it will fit in your case, a tote bag, something like that. But if you're looking for go anywhere portability, then the pens are the answer. You can just kind of colour in wherever you like.
Yeah. Okay, so when you've done your bats, let them dry as well. And there's like an instant sort of Halloween, you know, picture that you can hang in your house. I have done one earlier as well, prepared this one, and I think 5's nice, 5 or even 7, go for that odd number.
What is it about odd numbers?
It's just very pleasing for your eye.
Right.
It's more random,
Right.
and it makes your eye dot around your picture more. If there's just the 4, you just instantly see 4, don't you? Two sets of 2. But if there's 5 or 7, you're not quite sure, and it's
That's a good
just
point.
restful and pleasing. Yeah, that's why gardeners plant plants in 3s and 7s, and yeah.
Yeah,
It's
makes
like
sense.
a little artistic rule, really.
So if
Yeah.
you're looking at something that you've done and maybe there's 2 or 4 of something and you're thinking, I'm not quite sure why, but it just doesn't look right. Maybe it's because you've done even instead of odd numbers. Give odd numbers a go. And of course, with the pens, you've got the added bonus of having the fine liner at the other end as well. So when you want very, very detailed lines and fine detail, this is what's going to give you that effect. And of course, if you wanted the lines in the bat's wings, then the fine line is going to be perfect for that.
Yeah, so I'm just going in with the fine liner. You can crisp up the edges of your watercolour with the fine liner. You know, you can get really sketchy with it as well.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to go to the edges. You can just try and miss the edges. Sometimes that creates a bit of movement, you know, with the bats. Yeah, so you could, you know, really make it a bit more realistic. You can sort of make it quite comical and just put some googly eyes on it, or put some like spooky little eyes. So yeah, you can take it as far as you like.